Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of Medicool, brought to you by the Faculty of Medicine in the Technion. My name is Erik Feldman, I am an MD PhD student at the Technion. Today we are going to talk about some very important topics related to medical research and medical education, our faculty and the future of science. We are joined by our own Professor Aronheim, the Dean of the Rappaport Faculty of Medicine in the Technion and Head of the Cancer Research Laboratory in the Faculty of Medicine. Hello, Professor Aronheim, and thank you for joining us to talk about science.
Hello, Eric, and thank you for having me here.
Professor Aronheim, you were born in Petah Tikva and raised in Moshav Ramot HaShavim in the Sharon district, where the primary focus was on growing hens and laying chickens. On the other hand, your father was a medical doctor. Today, you are responsible for the medical education of the future generation of physicians at the Technion. Ami, can you please take me on a journey through time to the important milestones in your academic life, academic experience, starting from your bachelor degree to current time as a Dean of the Faculty of Medicine?
As you said, Eric, I grew on a Moshav where I was in charge of a chicken farm and a lot of agriculture activity. After the army, where I served in the Navy, I decided to study agriculture. During the second year, while studying agriculture in Rehovot, which is just across the street from the Weizmann Institute, I became interested in research and science. I joined the lab at the Weizmann, studying nitrogen fixation in bacteria to improve crop growth. After completing the degree in agriculture, I decided to switch to an academic career. An academic career is comparable to a long-distance running, such as a marathon. It is a way of life and dedication.
So, that is why you decided to join the Weizmann, right?
Yes, I started my master's degree at the Weizmann Institute and completed rotation studying 3 different disciplines. Finally, I decided to join a great mentor, Johnny Gershoni, whom I still enjoy meeting and having endless discussion with until today. Later, I joined another PI, Michael Walker, who ran a lab for just 2 years.
What was the next milestone after the Weizmann?
Well, after I completed my PhD, I decided to go for a postdoc position. Already then, I had 2 children. I decided to join Michael Karin at UCSD at United States. Luckily, I received a prestigious postdoctoral fellowship from the HFSPO, and I was kind of independent at Michael Karin's lab.
What did you study there?
I chose to work on a project which was not under the main focus of the lab. I was able to publish a manuscript in Cell after 18 months, which opened an opportunity for me to get a position in Israel.
And well, was the Technion your first choice?
To tell the truth, when I returned from the interview back home and my wife asked me how was it, I told her that it will be the last place that I will accept. Since I served in the Navy for 3 years and I stayed for 3 years in Bat Galim. I got an additional offer from the Faculty of Medicine at Tel Aviv University, which was not as attractive as the Technion. Therefore, I decided to accept the Technion offer and started my position on October 1996 and do not regret this decision ever since. During the last 27 years, my focus of research is in signal transduction in cancer and cardiac remodeling using various mouse models.
So, Ami, how did you become the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine?
Along the years, I participated in several faculty and Technion committees, and in 2018, I decided to join the faculty management as the Senior Vice Dean with Dean Professor Eisenberg. Being a preclinical faculty member, I was involved in most of the faculty issues. When Professor Eisenberg has decided to complete his term, I was elected to replace him as the Dean.
Ami, what an interesting journey. Just out of curiosity, do you see any common ground between practicing agriculture and leading cutting-edge cancer research? I'm asking mainly because we all evolve along our scientific journey, and any of us can find himself or herself studying something that is very far from his original interests.
I completely agree with you. In agriculture, it is mostly hard work and dedication that will determine your success. Your success in agriculture is producing the end product. Similarly, an academic career requires hard work and dedication, yet timing, originality, creativity, and luck are the main driving forces. Therefore, one cannot preview where research will take him or her and how the end product will look like, and most importantly, where you'll find yourself in 5, 10, or 30 years from now.
Speaking of journeys in academia, I think we both agree that one of key components that facilitates PhD and master students' development as scientists is attending scientific events like conferences, meetings, and so on. Usually, during these events, we are all exposed to important discoveries and fantastic success stories. But human nature is not always open to share the challenges, the difficulties, and the failures. It would be great if you share a failure of yours or maybe a challenge you experience. I promise we will discuss some great successes as well.
It's a great question, Eric. As a new PI, it is a big challenge starting your independent lab. At the beginning, all you deal with is new, and you need to handle issues that you were not trained for. For example, how to choose a good student, how to select a good project, how to deal with failures, bureaucracy, budget, teaching, grant writing, reports, and how to deal with editors, journals, and more. As a PI, young and even mature, you constantly fail. You fail in grants, in papers, editors reject your papers, and students that disappoint you. You have few successes that you can enjoy for a few and short moments that fill you with new energy for a short while. But failures are more frequent, and you have to gather yourself quickly and believe in yourself and know how to leave the failure behind in order to be able to continue to the next challenge.
Ami, do you mind sharing from your experience how, as a young PI, you deal with editorial rejection, what the emotions are, which thoughts are coming to your mind?
It is difficult to deal with rejections. You always believe that your work is complete and deserves to be published. Sometimes you feel that the review is unfair. Sometimes research is led by fashion, and sometimes reviewers are not open to new findings. You must learn to continue and not to waste too much time and energy fighting with editors.
I totally agree, and it actually reminds me some great thing that I heard once, and I think one could easily relate it to academic career, and it goes like this. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, Ami, we discussed the past, we discussed the present, and I truly want to speak about the future. This summer, I attended a meeting in Lyon, in France, and on the last day of the conference, just after the lunch was served, of course with wine, the last speaker talked about research in the future. I took my pen out and I tried to sketch for myself where I see biomedical research in 5, 20, and even 50 years from now. I'm really curious to hear from you how you see it, what to expect, what not to expect, and any other thoughts you have on that matter.
This is a difficult question. Certainly, a glass of wine may help. In the last decade, the research advanced so rapidly and omics became a day-to-day life in every lab. In addition, artificial intelligence entered into our lives everywhere, and it is becoming clear that theoretical mathematical models will be used more frequent. The labs used to perform experiments will be rare. It is difficult to imagine where the biomedical research will take you in 20 and 50 years from now. New techniques and new abilities will be developed that will enable us to understand biology at the atomic levels. Disease will be predicted at the genomic levels. Manipulations at the genomic level will offer new cure and prevention of diseases.
That's inspiring, thank you. Our faculty is part of the Technion, and given we are one of the most technologically advanced faculties in Israel, how do we prepare for the new era in medical research?
We are becoming more technological. Being at the Technion, the Institute of Technology, the double-track medical studies with engineering needs to be more encouraged and promoted. Our alumni should receive more engineering, technological, and industrial education, how to handle big data, and how to use artificial intelligence in medicine and research.
Ami, I enjoyed our conversation very much, and I am thankful for having the privilege to start the faculty podcast with you. I was thinking it would be wonderful if you could share your well wishes with the faculty and the students.
I wish the Faculty of Medicine and the Technion to be the first choice for undergraduate and graduate students, and of course, for new faculty members. This will mean that we reached a milestone to be the number one in medical education and in medical research.
And I believe we are on the right way.
I agree with you, Eric. All the best to our future students. No one can foresee where the medical studies will take him or her in the future. Thank you, Eric, for this enjoyable conversation.
Thank you, Professor Aronheim, for being with us today, and a big thanks to our listeners and the Ruth and Bruce Rappaport Faculty of Medicine at the Technion, who makes these sessions possible. Stay tuned for our next episode on Medicool podcast.